Okay, welcome everybody. I just dropped you guys all of the links for your meal plans for this next 7 days of this HIT challenge. And I want to go through them so that you're really comfortable and you're really clear on exactly what's happening nutritionally for the next week, right? So let's have a look here at the first page. So this first page, where it says number cruncher, if you are one of these people, you really want to know the ins and outs of everything that you're eating, you want to track it, you want to know all about carbs and all of this kind of stuff, then this is something that you can pay attention to. If you're not that person, you can totally disregard this page. It doesn't really matter. But if you are interested in tracking your calories and your macronutrients, so what macronutrients are carbohydrates, proteins, and fats, okay? So that's how we're kind of breaking these things down. So what this means is we're going to be eating 20% of our food will be carbs, 40% will be protein, 40% will be fat, okay? So depending on your weight right now, these are your daily intake goals. So this is the values that we're looking for to try to intake on a daily basis, okay? And then you break it down by grams and you see the gram breakdown here, okay? So if you want to, feel free to jump right over here. If you have a MyFitnessPal account, you're welcome to just jump right on there. And this tutorial will show you how to input these values so that you can start tracking your food and becoming really aware of the kinds of things that are in your food, how much fat is in your food, protein, etc. We all have protein demands for our body, and most of us don't get enough unless we really think about it and really aim to get that kind of protein in. So it's a nice exercise if you've never done it before and you're interested in trying that this week, feel free to do it. But if not, here's how we're going to work our portion sizes this week. So we are going to do it by our hands, right? Because your hand is directly proportional to your body, obviously, unless you have freakishly small or freakishly big hands. But that is a freakish thing, right? So generally, our palm is going to be a pretty good indicator of how many calories we actually need to take in, or how much food, I should say, we need to take in, okay? So as you can see here, the palm, that is the protein that we're taking in. And I've listed all of the proteins here that you're going to find in your menu plan. So you can take a palm-sized portion of any one of these proteins, and if there's something that you don't like, you can just switch out any one of these proteins for anything else that you see on the list, right? Super simple. All you have to do is make sure you have your hands with you, which hopefully you will, and nothing goes like catastrophically wrong over the next 7 days. So vegetables, we're going to do the fist, right? So for women, at least one fist. You can feel free to have more on the vegetables, right? For men, we're going to do 2 fists. And we're aiming for these about 3 or 4 times a day, okay? And again, these are the vegetables that are on that meal plan. If you want to switch something out, that is okay. Fat, same thing. It's a thumb of fat, and these are all of the different fats that you will find in your meal plan. Feel free to switch them again. So if you don't like blue cheese, although really that's just so delicious, but if you don't, feel free to switch it out for whatever else you see here, okay? Carbs, same thing, okay? We're looking for a cupped hand, so that's how much carbs we're going for. Okay, so that is how we're going to portion out our food. It's really simple. You don't have to be crunching numbers if you don't want to. If you do, though, to go through the experience, that's absolutely a-okay. Go ahead, feel free to do that. So this is the actual menu plan, okay? If you want another copy of that grocery list, feel free to click here. It's right there for you. Here's one of the big things that we're going to try and do over the next 7 days. We're going to try and have 2 cups of water before every single meal. It's just going to fill us up a little bit before we get that food in. If you do suffer from any kind of acid reflux, please do have a little bit of apple cider vinegar just to get the juices pumping and flowing through your stomach before you decide to put this water in. Otherwise, you might get some of the negative effects of acid reflux, okay? So having a look here, most people haven't heard of BCAAs. They don't know what that is, right? It's branched-chain amino acids. Branched-chain amino acids, what they are is like, if you think back to, biology when you were in high school, it's the building blocks of protein. So it's protein kind of broken down even more, right? It's really easily absorbable. There's just no barrier when it comes to that getting right in there, during a workout or after a workout to help you recover and help you repair. Now, because we're going to be doing workouts, if possible, and if we have the energy and if we have the drive to, these short workouts, one in the morning and one at night. So we want to make sure that we're recovering optimally. over the next 7 days, right? So pre-workout, it'll let you know to take 5 grams of branched chain amino acids, okay? And if you have any questions about where to find those or what to purchase, feel free to let me know. Brands always differ depending on where you are in the world, and we're a very international group, so we can work together to find a brand that's going to work really good for you, okay? So here's your pre-workout, your breakfasts. Here are all of the breakfasts listed there for you. Lunches, post-workout. I think it's fairly straightforward. Again, anything you see, if you see steak, for example, you know you're going to have a palm size of steak because that's your protein for the meal, okay? So very, very easily laid out for you. On Friday, we have a scheduled tea talks, right? Which is something that I like to do every now and again, because it's one of those things that really teaches you to listen to your body's hunger cues, and when you're hungry, when you're not hungry, to start to really begin to analyze why we eat. You know, if you just smell fresh bread when you're walking by, do all of a sudden you have to eat a ton of fresh bread? Or, you know, do you really need that, right? Sometimes when we go through these things, you get to experience what cues are real and what are maybe just social or emotional cues that we have, and that's why we eat. So that is why that is put in there. We're still going to have those branched chain amino acids because it's so crucial for our recovery, okay? So any questions on the meal plan, feel free to ask me. In terms of our supplements, here's what we're looking at for supplements. Of course, we're going to need the protein powder, and it's just as it's indicated within the meal plan, so just have a look at that. Omega-3s, if you are not already taking them, I do suggest to take them not just for this 7 days, but for longer than that. We're looking at, for this particular week, we're going to do if you have capsules, 3 times at breakfast, 3 times at night. We're looking for 3 grams, okay? So krill oil is fabulous. You don't have... Generally, you don't have anyways any repeat or anything that's crazy. But with your fish oils, please make sure you get high quality fish oil. People skimp out on this all the time, and you don't want to have a sort of a crappy brand of fish oil that's going to be like already oxidized, which means, you know, it's hit oxygen or something and gone rancid. So if you open up the bottle and it smells kind of funky, or if you literally take one out and you bite into it and it tastes really off, it is, right? So immediately return that package. Go for a high quality fish oil, okay? It's just worth it. Otherwise, you're putting in oxidized fish oil into your system, which is just gross, and we don't want to do that, okay? On day 3, I'm going to let you know now, everybody who's joined, I want to give you a free turbo coaching call. Everybody has their own unique situation, their own challenges and things that they need to work on. And through this coaching call, you'll really get some insight onto what's going to work for you in the direction that you need to go to best start to get those results, right? We never get that opportunity to really talk to a coach and figure out what's going to work for us. So within that, it's turbo, so it's only going to be about 15 minutes, but we're going to really kind of nail down your next steps, see what's working for you within the 7 days, see what, you know, is challenging you, what is limiting you, because so often what we think is actually limiting us doesn't really exist. And if you talk to somebody about it and get a different perspective or new eyeballs on a situation, there's always a way to turn things around to make things work for you, okay? So we will schedule these in. You feel free to schedule them there. If you are international, you can just drop me an email or a message and we can figure that out too. So that is the entire meal plan that we're going to be working for the next 7 days. You'll notice it's all done by body weight, so there's little slight differences between each body weight because we're going to need obviously a little bit more food, a little bit more calorie intake. So have a look at your meal plan. Any questions, please do ask me. Otherwise, I am looking forward to getting this started. One other thing that people often generally have questions about, this guar gum right here. What it is basically like a thickening agent, right? It's got fiber. It's just made from the flour or the seeds, like ground out seeds. So what it does is if you want to make, for example, here, if we're making a pudding, it just kind of gives it that thickening that, you know, it wouldn't otherwise have. You could put it in soups and gravies and that kind of thing, okay? So if you're wondering what that is, that's what it is. It's nice to have on hand when you know you're beginning a fitness journey, because it's good to plop it into different things, okay? So other than that, any questions, again, please do feel free to ask. Otherwise, let's get started. Go out, get your groceries. I'm going to give you a few strategies coming up so that you can learn how to create these meals, have these things ready for you, so that you don't have to be scrambling trying to get, 10 shrimp for lunch. How do I do that? I'm going to give you a few ways to prepare yourself so that you're really ready and you're going to have optimal success this week, okay? So enjoy the meal plans. Make sure you get to know them, and soon we're going to start to get to know our workouts. So enjoy the rest of this weekend, and we shall talk soon.